What is going on, everyone? It's Scott back from Crypto Croc, and I just want to thank everyone for all the support that we've been getting. We've grown this channel from 0 to 400 in the past 2 months. Crypto has been booming, and we want to basically share the information with you guys. So, thanks for subscribing. Please remember to subscribe, hit that subscribe button. Like the videos if you like it. It really does help to support us as we continue our growth. Now, today we're going to be talking about a new coin called Remme, R-E-M. Now, Remme is a brand new coin. It is really, really cheap, sitting at just over 2 cents. It is down 8% on the day with a current 24-hour trading volume of 430,000 with 1 billion dollars in total supply. Sorry, 1 billion Remme coins. Now, Remme is pretty interesting. So basically, most websites right now, I would say 85% of them are secured, or you log into a website with a password, a username and password. Everyone has them, and there's just so many websites and passwords that you have to remember. It's hard to keep up with passwords. It's hard to make passwords secure, and you can't repeat passwords and all sorts of things. There's just so many passwords you have to remember in your day-to-day life. Now, there has been apps that have come out to help us with those sort of things, and things like SafePass, KeyPass, where basically it's one password database where you log in with a master password. Once you're in, you've got access to many different passwords. And the downside to that is if someone gets your master password, now they have access to all your passwords stored in a nice little database telling you, hey, this is my Facebook password. So if that password ever gets out, your digital life is pretty messed up. Now, there have been other apps that have come out that offer two-factor authentication. So what is two-factor authentication? Two-factor authentication is essentially a way to have a second device, i.e. a phone or a computer, something like that, where you have to accept a code, so maybe a 6-digit code or a PIN code, and that way if someone does compromise your account, they have to then get your phone as well in order to compromise it. So it's thus the two-factor. Now, there is some downsides to two-factor authentication. For example, if someone gets your phone, or if you leave your phone unlocked, that sort of thing, technically someone could get into your account. So there is some drawbacks. The technology is pretty sound. There's tons of websites and a lot of the new ICOs that come out, and even the exchanges, they all protect their website using two-factor authentication. However, because two-factor authentication has its flaws, Remme is here to save the day. So what is Remme? So essentially Remme is another two-factor authentication app. However, it doesn't actually store its authentication and database server on a specific server that can be hacked. It stores it all on an SSL certificate that's stored on the blockchain. And because the blockchain can't be hacked, the SSL certificates can't be hacked. So what does that mean? So basically, when you sign up for Remme and you create your passphrase is then stored on an SSL certificate that is then stored on the blockchain. And anytime you want to log into a website that supports Remme, you click on it and it goes out to the blockchain, verifies the credentials, and then unlocks the account. So long are the days where you have to remember passwords anymore, and Remme aims to be fully integrated on websites, similar to how you would log in with Google or Facebook or LinkedIn. They basically want to make it extremely easy for you to log in and make it extremely secure and foolproof. So it's a pretty sound technology. They have a few different use cases that they're really targeting. One of them is the med tech industry, and the other one is IoT, so Internet of Things. By 2020, there's going to be something like 20 plus billion devices out in the world. And a lot of those are going to be smart enabled or Internet of Things ready. So, what does that mean? Basically, that means that they're going to have an active internet connection, kind of like a smart thermometer or smart thermostat or Amazon, Alexa, that sort of thing, where everything is integrated. And people just buy them, they plug them into their Wi Fi network, and they really just forget about them. But what happens is now you've got all these different, call it devices or nodes, that you're exposing your data to the online world, the web. So hackers can potentially, it just gives hackers another means to log in, steal your data. So hackers are obviously targeting the small fish as well as the big fish. They're not biased, and usually they're trying to use as little resources as possible to get as much win as possible. But if a hacker was to hack some sort of medical record and steal people's medical record, I'd imagine that would sell for really big on the black market. So if a medical record or a website that houses your medical record can be stored on the blockchain protected by Remme, then I think that that would really just strengthen people's fears of passwords, and they would jump on the platform on the Remme boat and stand behind the technology, because the blockchain has yet to be hacked. I know people keep talking about, the blockchain can't be hacked, but I think we have to be very cautious with what we say, and it's unfortunately I think it might be a matter of time until it's hacked. And what it comes down to is figuring out various algorithms, ciphers, all sorts of things, and it's just a matter of time until like a supercomputer gets invented or a super chip, and they're gonna have to come out with blockchain chain 2.0, 3.0, where they can't be hacked, and it's a never-ending thing, right? But at this point in time, the blockchain has not been hacked, so Remme is a practical solution to meet those needs. Now, when it comes to cyber attacks, can't cut the mustard. So companies all over the world lose billions of dollars to hackers. In 2019, it's expected that cybercrime will cost $2 trillion. So you guys are familiar with like the WannaCry crypto virus, where basically it's malware that gets infected onto machines, and what it does is it actually encrypts the data with a key, a really hard algorithm that is extremely hard to crack. And the hacker then puts in a message on your screen saying, hey, I've got that key, I can unlock your file, but you got to pay me in crypto, and basically I'm going to hold your files ransom until you do so. Now, they're getting smarter every single day. They're deleting your backups, they're deleting your shadow files, your shadow copies, and they're just making it extremely difficult for the end user to protect themselves. That is why backup is extremely important, and that is why having a secure password is extremely important, so these people can't get in. Now, some of the means that they get in: phishing, brute forcing, key logging. Remme essentially protects against that, because all of those means of getting into someone's site or website, currently websites are protected by passwords. Now, if they support Remme, you can't get in via password, and you can't brute force the blockchain, or so I don't think you can, because Remme uses SSL certificates. So similar to when you have HTTPS on a browser, that is an SSL certificate. It's signed by a trusted authority, kind of like a GoDaddy and other providers out there. They become a trusted authority. They will then sell SSL certificates, and those trusted authorities are the only ones that can basically house the keys. Now, traditional SSL certificates are relatively safe. However, those certificate keys are still stored somewhere. So theoretically, someone could still get in. Now, if it's stored on the blockchain, it makes it extremely difficult to do so. So they've been on Forbes, TNW, Cointelegraph. They're getting pretty good reviews here. And like I said, it's a pretty new coin, so we don't have a lot of information to go by. It has been a little bit up and down. We're seeing a downtrend for the past day. So let's take a look at their roadmap here. So they've actually started way back in 2015 with this idea. Now, two-factor authentication is not new by any means, but two-factor authentication on the blockchain is. Now, you never know. There might be providers like Google and Microsoft and other people like that, these big guys that use two-factor authentication right now, but currently don't use it on the blockchain. And they could just come in and they've already got that market share, and they can basically just flip a switch and make it on the blockchain. They've got enough engineers that they can make that happen. And that is of concern. That is something that would concern me if I owned Remme, because they have to start from the ground up. Obviously, they have somewhat of a head start, but their team is nowhere near as big as a Google or a Microsoft. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Now, we're currently sitting at Q1 2018, which they don't, oh yeah, right here. So Q1 2018, public alpha, product security updates, doing some penetration testing, extending the team of software engineers. So their team's growing. Q2, private blockchains for integration. So that's when they start getting things integrated. Additional two-factor authentication options such as Signal, Status, WeChat, and Trezor. So this is a Bitcoin wallet. 20 plus integrations. So Q2 is when it starts to expand. They don't actually talk about what integrations these are going to be, but if they're on some reputable websites, it might just give them some exposure, and exposure is always good. Q3, we're going to start seeing 50 plus integrations as this name starts to get out into the public market, and they're going to be opening up to the public. So we are looking at potentially late 2018, early 2019 before this technology actually hits the ground and running. Right now, we're in its infancy. That is why I think this coin is extremely undervalued, sitting at $2 cents. But I can see this coin being a $2 coin, thus a 100. What percentage is that? Sorry, my math is really fail here. 100x. I don't know what percentage that is, but from 2 cents to $2, I can see that happening. I can see Remme being a top 100 coin. I think security is always going to be top of mind for people when they surf the internet. People are really fed up with passwords. We're seeing the integration of like fingerprints in mobile phones now, iris scans. You know, like the Microsoft Surface, you can unlock it with your face. So they're looking at other ways of really making it easy for people to unlock their devices. And so I think two-factor authentication is here to stay. However, not everyone in the world has a mobile phone. So that somewhat limits the market that Remme has in front of itself. But we are seeing, you know, third world countries, Africa, that sort of thing, where even like the average person over there actually in India has a cell phone. So if they can make the app, you know, available on like Android or whatnot, who knows? It might have some practicality. So with that being said, guys, thanks for watching the video. Please remember to subscribe. We're going to be coming out with crypto videos every single day, telling you which ones to buy and which ones to stay away from. And I think Remme has some potential. It's going to take some time. 2018 is going to be a pretty big year. But like I said, I think it can be a top 100 coin. Security is always going to be top of mind for people when surf the internet. And Remme makes it extremely easy to do so. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you guys later.